Hello, everybody. Welcome to New Earth Rising. You'll see today that we're coming to you from our spaceship. We have decided that we are no longer going to be on Earth because it's really messed up, and we're going to be streaming to you sort of live from our spaceships from now on. So
that's right. We now have the bird's eye view, or higher than the bird's eye view.
We have the angel's eye view.
Angel's view, angelic view, the galactic world view.
The intergalactic worldview,
right,
of the disaster that's going on down there on planet Earth. And we said, enough is enough. We're out of here. Not that we don't love all of you, but we can do better work up here.
Yes, and we would invite you to join us up here.
Yes. We thought it'd be fun. So I'm Michelle, the Awakener, one of many. Chances are you guys are too. And we welcome you. And of course, we're here with the shenanigator Sharon. And we are looking at getting into some trouble today because we're going to talk about some stuff that's really important and that needs to be talked about.
Yes. So, yes. Yes. Thank you, Michelle. Hey, everyone. Thank you for watching again. And for the first time, if you're here for the first time, we have a lot of fun on this show, definitely. And this subject is kind of heavy, but it needs to be talked about. And some of you may already know this. And so, but it's about the children, the children of the planet and what's going on, what has been going on this planet for a very long time, and what we can do to bring awareness to this and to protect the children. Yeah. And I had a channel from Yeshua the other day because I was in my meditation, I just felt this so strongly that we need to start talking more about it because it's something that people don't want to talk about, don't want to look at. We can't bury our heads in the sand anymore. It's and it came to light big time with the Balenciaga advertisements.
Yeah.
Okay. And they got caught, I guess. And if you aren't aware of that, Balenciaga, I never even heard of Balenciaga. Have you? Well, you live in California, so you probably have.
I had, but I'm not into all that name brand stuff and all that. So it goes in one ear and out the other, but I had heard of it.
Okay.
And it felt heavy. Just the name feels heavy. So I'm not surprised that it's tied into this
right
establishment.
Well, and it shouldn't surprise us, but when it's right there in your face, it's like, oh gosh, because it needs to be in our face. It needs to be. And I saw a video recently where a woman, as soon as she saw what was going on at Balenciaga, she quit. And she was, I don't remember what she did there. And she talked about the Caring Group, the parent company of these companies owns Balenciaga, Gucci, Yves Saint Laurent, and a bunch of them. And you don't even have to do any digging. I just looked up the Caring Company and saw some of the most disturbing images of what they are selling and pushing, what they make available. I mean, it's just awful what it has to do with children. It all has to do with children.
Yeah. And it's been going on for a long time. And there's been little bits and pieces. Most of us have heard of Pizzagate, right? Little bits and pieces that have come out. Little things, visuals that some, especially, music artists have done, with, blood on them or babies or, weird things that are like, oh, that's odd.
Yeah.
But it's been being flashed to us over the last really 10 years, but just more and more. But when it's so blatant like that, it's like we can't we can't hope it's not what it seems to be anymore.
No, we can't.
It is what it seems to be. And we need to stand up. And, you know, not everybody is, every one of us is geared to getting out there and boots on the ground saving. There's other ways we can help. Prayer and meditation are one of them. Donating to institutions that really do help is another way. And so we're going to talk about that today too.
Yeah. Let's start with a prayer. We would like to open and end each podcast now with a prayer, to a prayer protection for the children and some way of putting an end to the human trafficking and the abuse and the torture of children and, you know, young adults and anyone basically, but the children are the targets.
Yeah.
So let's do that.
Let's do that.
Dear divine Mother, Father, Creator, all that is, Source, God, infinite intelligence, Mother, Father, God, we ask you now, and all of your helpers, all of the angels, the realms of angels and ascended masters and galactic beings, all the blessed ones, we ask you to help us here on this planet, bring awareness to what is happening with the children that are being trafficked, abused, tortured, any of these things that goes against God's will for the children. Please help us to know how to help in some way. Please help us to spread the awareness so that this can be turned around and stopped on the planet. We know it's been going on for a very long time. And we are brave enough now as a collective. We are brave enough now as a collective to be able to put a stop to this. I feel it. I feel it in my heart and soul.
Yeah.
We just need the tools to know what to do and how to help these poor children that are being abused, and right at this very moment. And we ask that you spread your protection around them and help to transmute the energies that have been caused by this, the negative energies that feed into this.
Yeah.
Michele?
Yeah. And I also call upon every child to be surrounded by the pure white light of God, by the golden light of the Christ, and by the violet flame of limitless transmutation, that all children on this planet, and that includes adult children,
Yes,
be protected from the darkness that has been perpetrating all of this painful, horrendous things against the very soul of humanity. And beloveds, we know that when we ask these things by the power and authority that we are, I am, that this is put into action now, immediately. And we just say, thank you so much. We just say, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That as we call upon the power of the one true God, and by whatever name we call, or know that it is called into action. And that is the first thing that we can all begin doing to do this. And we just say thank you for that direction and guidance. And so it is.
So it is. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
So we need to stand up and just like claim it, like, put our flag in it and say, those children are ours. Those children are God's, and you can't have them. Right.
Exactly.
And it's going to take that kind of power and strength and claiming them back. And every one of us is a child within. Every one of us is a child of God. Every one of us have suffered at the hands of the shadow that causes chaos. And the great revelation that we're living in, it's about that being revealed so that we can take our proper place back. Ooh, getting chills.
I know, right? Yeah, totally. And when you think about it, this is why the dark side, whatever you want to call it, like in Star Wars, the dark side, is fighting so hard, because this is what it all comes down to.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah.
And the rest is distraction. This is what it all comes down to. I mean, these are the others are means to protect this big, ugly secret. And that's what it is. And it's been hidden for a very long time. Yeah.
And it's been going on for so long. I remember reading, I don't know, maybe high school, maybe I was in college, because I studied psychology in college, and about how the Roman warriors used to sleep with young boys to build their energy, so that they had all that youthful energy for when they went to war.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's thousands of years ago.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. And it's, and I feel has a lot to do with the fact that, the good guys lost the war a long time ago.
Yeah.
And had to leave the planet.
Yeah.
And so we are, the product of, Enlil, or whoever you want to call the beings that, ended up taking over this planet as their territory, as their real estate. And they didn't, they don't care about us. So,
and we're at the end of an age, though. And that's like what Jesus said, coming to the end of an age.
Yes.
There's a lot of talk about that. And
well, right, in Revelations. And speaking of that, what really got me going was this message from Yeshua, if I may read it.
Yeah, I want to hear.
Okay. So I asked him, what do we need to do to protect the children and the animals, and all the innocence of the world? And he says, awareness, my love. Bring awareness to those who are not able to see. Shout it from the rooftops if you have to. I am here to light the way. I am here helping to bring order to chaos. I am here to pull the plug, so to speak, on debauchery was the word that came in. I am here to protect the innocent children and those who are not able to protect themselves. A stand you must make. This can no longer be ignored or tolerated. My writing is really bad because I was going so fast. Yes. Throw ignorance and tolerance out the door. It is time for revelation and justice. The hand of our Father is a loving hand. The hand of our Father is a just hand, and the hand of our Father is an all-powerful hand. The time is nigh. You no longer need wait. The blindfolds have been removed. For those who have eyes to see my return in my Father's warriors. My Father's warriors fight beside me. The long-awaited brethren of the eternal flame have come. Wake, my sisters and brothers in arms, wake. I am here with you. We are one holy army, sanctified by the Father, blessed by the Mother. We have come to bring our children home to the heart. Shout it from the rooftops, shout it from the mountaintops. We have come. I am here. I am back to bring our children home to the heart.
It's so beautiful.
I've got goosebumps.
Yeah, and it's so important to speak these words. And we have a space cat up here.
I'm glad he likes to fly around.
He does. He's very good at that. It was interesting because when you started talking about that, Sharon, he came over and curled right up here and listened for the whole thing as soon as you were done.
Oh, wow. That doesn't surprise me. It shouldn't surprise me. That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. It's so it is important that we talk about it, and let it be said, we know we have to be careful about the wording that we take when we're on social media, and we're planning on putting this up on YouTube, and Probably our new Rumble channel.
Yeah, we're
So
getting,
exciting.
well, Michelle is doing all the work there, but getting that going one
We're
day
gonna
where we could talk freely.
We're
gonna rumble.
So we can start really talking about some stuff, because we still have to, we have to tread lightly. But this is so important. It's so important to realize that the whisperings that have been heard in the conspiracy theory groups, some of it is real.
I would say most of it is. Most of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a conspiracy theorist. Have been for 20 years. And I didn't, and I just I've never ever in my whole life, this life, trusted authority. I mean, I've always been anti-establishment. So I always trusted my gut with the fact that, what I was hearing, whether it be on TV, whether it be from the mouths of a politician, or anything like that, or whatever, any place in a higher authority, I have to look at that with a lot of discernment and do my own checking in on that. And just like with 9/11, I tried to tell my sister about, because my sister and I weren't on the same page during 9/11, and she'll fully admit this, of course, but she's like, no, our country would never do anything like that. No. All right, that's okay, that's all right. It's time will tell. Conspiracy theories used to take a little while for them to come true. Now it's just like 6 months or so, I guess, is the saying.
I know. It was funny. I remember when on 9/11, when the first building came down, I remember just being so fixated, and the word out of my mouth, it was almost like a whisper: buildings don't fall down like that. And it was just like, poof, poof, poof. And I remember that, and that's come back, and it was almost like there was something moving through me that was speaking those words. And right now it's 4:44 our time as we're
it
speaking.
Sure is.
And I remember just being, oh, this is bad. And it was way worse than what, we all thought it was.
Yeah.
But,
I wonder, I kind of feel that, conspiracy theory, the term conspiracy theory, do you know how that started?
You know what? I've heard it, but I don't remember right now what it is.
The CIA ended up creating that term to squelch people who thought that President Kennedy, that it was an inside job when he was assassinated. So people were wondering about that. It just didn't look right. How could that happen from the angle and things like that? So there was a lot of people digging into it. And so they used that term to, they released that term, just like they released that UFOs were, into the general public, the consciousness, were, a bunch of crazies that believed in UFOs. So they released the term, this is what I've read many times, they released the term conspiracy theory to label people as crazies. And all it means is a conspiracy is more than one person who agree on something, and where they see or they see, and I guess the adage is with conspiracy theory is where they see a conspiracy between others, between this group, who have whatever they're doing in mind to harm others. And theory is just a theory, just like science is.
Just a theory.
Just a theory. That there's a conspiracy there, that maybe 9/11 was an inside job, or something like that. Yeah.
And it's just a theory.
It's a theory.
But those theories became very dangerous. And it was necessary for them to begin minimizing all that.
Yeah, totally. Did you know that in Ukraine, I'll say that low, that there are a lot of orphanages there who sell their children to the black market?
I have heard that. I have heard that.
Yeah.
And that's part of what this is all about. Also, there are numbers that a lot of people are not aware of, that there are upward of 2 million children that go missing every year.
Yeah.
Just missing. Nobody knows what happens. Conspiracy theory, you let us know what you think.
Tell us.
Yeah, we can do that. We're going to go Russell Brand style again. This is just what I'm saying. What do you think, right?
What do you think? Tell us in the comments. Totally. I love Russell Brand.
Yeah. And there's a lot of money to be made.
It's like, I think I saw an estimate a couple of years ago. It's like an $8 billion a year business.
Yeah.
And the open borders make it even more. I'm sure it's shot up since then.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Yeah, because it's so much coming across. And there was a whistleblower from the federal HHS, HHS Housing Development. I forgot what HHS stands for, but they're supposed to be taking care of people that come across the border and or people who need help from the HHS, Human Housing Health Services. Thank you. Whistleblower who works there, and she put her face out there and said that they are placing children who come across the border on their own with men who and people who actually use them for slave trade. One girl said that her supposed aunt pimps her out, and they have to pay them. They have a debt. They're already in debt. They pay to come across. They pay these traffickers.
That's how they pay their debt. Yeah.
And what she said was that she couldn't understand why they were placing them so quickly without vetting these people, vetting the homes. They were not vetting the homes. And her supervisor told her, she said her supervisor told her that traffickers don't sue us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's some policy in the current administration where you have to get them out through the system as quickly as possible, or they don't make money. They don't get their grant funds or grants or whatever. They don't get their money. They get more money as soon as they put the quicker they put them through the system. And she actually told her that traffickers don't sue us.
Yeah. And it makes sense, and a lot of these children are being kidnapped, or maybe even their families are being paid. And then they're come over here and they make a lot of money. And there was one video that was out there that showed traffickers with a bunch of children bound and gagged on the ground. And they're paying for it. And then they picked up one of the kids and threw him in the back of a truck, like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah.
It's like, what the double hockey sticks is going on in the minds of humanity, that other humans are treated like this?
These are soulless people, and it's all greed.
Yeah. And it's and it's that what is that? The pursuit of money is the root of all evil. And that's playing out for us too. We're going biblical today.
We are.
We are slapping our Bibles because there's good stuff in there, and it's starting, and you're reading that book about Revelations and learning about that. There's good stuff in the Bible. It's not all conspiracy theory.
I have not read the whole Bible. I will fully admit. I mean, okay, so what? But I'm hearing more and more about Revelations, and so I'm studying some of that at a slow pace. And I do have a book, Revelations for Dummies kind of book.
Well, and that's good to do it that way, because there's a lot of symbolism and there's a lot of stuff. And also with the Revelations, because I've gone through it several times. I used to be a total Bible nerd. I've been all kinds of nerds in my life, still am. But there's symbolism that, it's like, well, in European symbolism, it means this. But in Hebrew symbolism, that stuff means this. And in Aramaic symbolism, it means this. And so it's like we have these people interpreting all this symbolism. And now that we're kind of in it, there's yet another way that people are looking at, oh, the red armies, that in there, they talk about the red armies from the North and the South. I think they talk about join together and begin to take over the world. Well, now it looks like it might be Russia and China, or Ukraine and China, or maybe America and China. We're not sure.
Yeah.
Somehow China seems to factor in there. But all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, could actually happen.
I don't think Russia and China are friends.
I don't think they're friends
but
anymore.
I can see
either.
the current administration in China being friends.
Yeah. And so it could be America.
Yeah. And also, that a lot of the the Christian teachings, and probably Catholics, but I mean, I was raised a Catholic, so I can say it, drew on the earth religions, the Druidism and paganism and those types of religions. So, so a lot of that symbolism, I believe, can be interpreted through those lenses too.
And they were taken and twisted. So they were like, oh, you guys bring fresh trees into your house to keep the air clear and keep the viruses down. So for Christmas, we're now going to bring in trees that symbolize Jesus, and we're going to decorate them. And now it's Christmas, a Christian religion around Jesus, and you got to obey our rules. It's like, wait a minute. There was actually another reason they put those boughs in the houses, because they clean the air.
Yeah. I know it's definitely an exciting and disturbing time when you see it. And I feel that probably the reason I am so I don't know how to put it. I'm not, passionate. I just feel the need to do something about, with the trafficking and the abuse of children because of my history. So, when you have those things going on in your life, you want to do something to protect others, something. Yeah. And what Michelle was talking about earlier with, if you feel like you want to help in some way and you just don't know what to do, there is a nonprofit that I've vetted and I give money to on a monthly basis. They're called Operation Underground Railroad, if you haven't heard of them. And it was started by a man named Tim Ballard, who is, I believe, an ex-Navy SEAL. And they rescue children all over the world. They rescue children, young people and children who have been trafficked. And I'm sure they would love your donation. Also, they had one thing that's disturbing to me is, and I don't know if it's because of ignorance where people don't know, or hopefully it's not that they don't care, but I went to a rally here that Operation Underground was putting on here in locally. I like going to rallies, and there wasn't that many people there.
You're a hippie.
Okay. But there wasn't that many people there. There was maybe 25, if that. And it made me so sad because this is important. This is
the most important thing.
The most important thing. And people aren't, what is it, Michelle? Tell me.
You know what I think part of it is?
Yes.
It's so horrifying. People don't want to believe it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, it bends the mind to even consider, oh, I'm getting chills, that people can treat children that way. And the majority of people have no inclination towards harming others.
Of course.
It's a very small portion. And I think a lot of people might hear it and be like, oh, conspiracy theory, right? Or the mind literally cannot conceive that can actually be happening. And I think that that's part of it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I really do. Because humans by and large are good. and are loving and are compassionate and care for their children. They love their children, they protect their children.
Right. Yeah, that makes total sense. And also, a lot of people, because we're so protected in our homes and protected in our little spaces on purpose. We got these safe spaces. We're safe in our car. We're safe in our house. We're safe in our neighborhood or whatever. Mostly, with that's happening over there.
Yeah,
that's not going to happen to me.
Yeah.
And I watched a movie called Machine Gun Preacher, and also watched the documentary of it recently. It was made in 2011, so I hadn't even heard of it, but
I've not heard of it.
It's really good, really good. He was a bad guy. He was like a Hell's Angels kind of guy, and he ended up and he was on drugs and stuff, and his wife, when he was in prison, his wife ended up going to church and finding her faith in God. And so she talked him into going, and he ended up finding it as well, because a minister from Africa, or was it Uganda, I believe it was, the Sudan, came to talk to the church, was going around talking to churches, asking for help, because it was during their civil war. They're still under civil war. They needed help, volunteers. So he went, and it really bothered him. So he went, and he ended up building an orphanage, and not an orphanage, but just a place, kind of an orphanage and medical facilities for these children who were being trafficked, who were being kidnapped from their parents, who were being killed on the spot in these guerrilla soldiers were going through, communities, these little bush towns, communities, villages, and killing people just out of the blue. So it's a really cool story. And he ended up being a war. He carries his gun, and he says that this is how God called me. You can listen to the Bible and say, thou shalt not kill. He says, well, it's thou shalt not murder. But
right.
Yeah. But and he says this, going back to where I started, if it was your child, what if it was your child? What would you do to get that child back? What would you do to get that child back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to protect that child.
Yeah, protect that child.
So, and it was interesting. I just had the word in my head. It sounded very much like Jesus's voice, where he said, the angels are warriors.
Right.
Because you think that they don't kill in the name of God? You think they don't take the bad guys out? And I have this huge statue of Archangel Michael standing over a serpent with the sword ready to slay the serpent. Kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's the serpent within.
Right.
Is that an infestation of these dark ETs infesting humanity?
I have one too of him with his doing the same thing. He's holding the head of a like a reptilian being, or dragon, reptilian, not the good dragons, but a reptilian kind of thing. And so he cut off the head of the serpent, cut off the head of the reptilian. Which is what we're doing.
Yeah. And we are. We really are. It's just so slow. It's like, come on, let's get this over with, right?
Because we're in such a slow frequency down here.
Yeah.
We are in a slow frequency.
That's why we have to be in our spaceships.
That's right. So we're coming at you at a much higher frequency, because we're up here outside of time and space. And come visit us sometimes up here. Yeah, sometime.
Yeah. Always
we'll
welcome.
beam you up. We'll beam you up. Speaking of galactics, Operation Underground Railroad, I'm jumping here, but I do want to say that they're making a movie about this guy, Tim Ballard. Who runs Operation Underground Railroad back around, and what he does for people. And it's been stopped in its tracks. They've been trying it was supposed to be released 2 years ago. Jim Caviezel, who played the Christ in the Passion, is making the movie. and it's been stopped in its tracks many times. So hopefully it's supposed to be out next year. But anyway, I would suggest, if you can, give them some money once in a while, or go to a rally or anything to help if you feel called to it, because
support.
It's and say a prayer once a day, maybe.
And keep children out of CPS.
Yeah,
they're part of the problem.
They are part of the problem, unfortunately. Yeah.
Hope I whispered that low enough that no one heard.
There's a lot of whistleblowers coming through with this and coming forward that work in the system.
Yeah.
That are bringing through some really
people are
disturbing information. Disturbing. Yeah. But I watched a video the other day. I was relaxing. I don't want to watch a movie because I watch things at the end of the day to relax, right?
Yeah.
Not stuff like this, but and so I saw Danny Henderson. She's part of the disclosure group with Elena Denon and Tony Rodriguez, who I told you about the book where he wrote about being in the 20 and back secret space program, and two other gentlemen that were also in secret space programs, and they recognize each other from when they were back in their 20 and back. That's pretty cool. That's cool. So there's corroboration right there. Elena Denon, her contact in the Federation, took her on a surprise. He takes her on surprise rides, and she's conscious of it the whole time, which is really cool. And he took her through a Stargate in the galaxy.
Ooh.
Yeah. And she and he took her to see
got chills.
Yes. She said it was very unnerving that she got nauseous. I had a out-of-body experience a couple years ago where I was in a ship and I got really nauseous, and I was in a uniform kind of thing, and I got nauseous. And Tony Rodriguez was talking about that when he was in the secret space program, that they used to go through a portal or a Stargate every day. And they would give the people on the ship 10 minutes to recover. 10 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and he had seen this nebula that she was talking about. I don't remember the name of the nebula or gas cloud, but she did some art on it. Anyway, I was sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, I am actually sitting here watching these people who are talking about being out in space, like you and I are sitting here talking.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Conscious of their experiences. This is disclosure right here.
Big time.
This is it. This is it.
Time. Yeah. And the Stargate things, I dream of going through Stargates all the time.
Wow.
It's like it's part of the thing, and they're almost like the SG-1.
Yes, I was just thinking about that. Yeah.
It's like that. It's like that kind of a deal there.
She said. That's what she said. She said it's like that. She said it was blue and it's like jello-y kind of thing, and it's wavy and liquidy, just like that's another disclosure show.
Yeah, totally.
Soft disclosure, Stargate.
I watched quite a few seasons of that, and then it started getting like really repetitive. And I was like, I can't watch one more Gaul, do the same thing over and over. It's like, come on, people.
I only watched the first one. I didn't watch the other the spin-offs of it, but I've heard they were good. But I didn't.
The Atlantis one is pretty good.
Is it? Okay.
But it's interesting that they put that out there. And I remember the first time I watched one of the shows, it was like, I've seen that before. It was like, what is that? But yeah, there's a lot going on. But they take these kids too, the ones that are super psychic, have super abilities, and take them on those, what they call the 20 and back, where they take them for 20 years and teach them and train them and use them, and then regress them, I guess the word would be, backwards 20 years, and drop them back in their in their bed or wherever they grabbed it from at the same age when they left 20 years ago.
Yeah, they put them in another timeline according to Tony Rodriguez type of thing. They're able to shift timelines because they're outside the Earth's net gravitational pull.
Well, and outside this time space
continuum.
matrix.
Yeah, totally.
In a parallel matrix, and they know how to use the stargates to go into those parallel timelines.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I know,
There's
isn't
so
it?
much stuff that we're like, what?
Yeah, it's awesome. It is. It is. And so I was just like floored that I'm sitting here watching a disclosure show with these people that are talking about traveling through the galaxy and, you know, through stargates. And it's not a TV show. I mean, it's not a fiction, you know, it's not on a set or anything like that where they're pretending they're not acting.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It just blew my mind. I just had that awareness. I'm like, oh, wow, this is what we've been waiting for.
And the many, many people that have had visitations that have had, you know, been taken off planet in different things, you know, and so much stuff that has been like, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Conspiracy theory. Don't talk about this and we'll kill you. You know, stuff like that too, where it's like, people don't talk about it. And now that it's becoming, the information's coming out more and it's becoming a little bit freer to talk about it. I mean, I want to say 70% of the people I talk to have some kind of ET type experience. And on top of that, then there's paranormal stuff that all kind of intermix together.
I was going to say, I think they're all they correlate somehow. Yeah.
Oh, there definitely are. And we're living in a weird world where there are other things from other places that come in and out all the time.
Yeah.
And it's time for us to learn how to navigate that as well. And to begin to find out what that's about. You know, instead of saying, no, that doesn't happen. You're crazy. Those ETs didn't come and get you at 4 years old. You're nuts.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Right.
They did.
I know it's a crazy world. I love it because we're finding out that maybe people like us and people who have been talking about this for a long time are not so crazy after all.
Yeah. And
people
the
like
potential.
You that are watching are not so crazy after all.
Yeah, you guys aren't crazy.
You're not crazy.
You're not crazy. And the potential.
Yes.
If we open our minds to all of this, the potential for our growth and expansion and the ability for us to create worlds and lives that are beautiful and wonderful, you know, where we're not, you know, chugging away at the 9 to 5, you know, and working so hard on meaningless stuff, and begin to live this glorious thing called life in a spiritually connected, glorious way that is enjoyable and joyful, and to experience things the way it's meant to be. I don't think God really decided at the beginning of this all that, yeah, I want to see what it's like to be tortured. Yeah. I don't think that was the plan. I think someone else came in and went, oh, check this out.
And we kind of might know who that is, who hijacked that. Yeah, we might know who that is. I mean, and you know, it's all experience, of course, but yeah, totally. It's not something that I believe an all-loving God would want for his children, her. They would want for his children.
What pronoun does God go by?
I know, right? Would want for his children to have experience of torture over and over and over.
Yeah. And that's the thing, over and over.
And over. Yeah.
You know, it's just like, and it's we're in a time matrix, kind of, basically, we put it that way, where it is over and over and over, and it's like, okay, we live about 60 years and we just start catching on, and then boom, you got to die, got to start over again.
Right.
What a stupid plan.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of people talk about that we're trapped, right? We're trapped. We can't get out. We don't have enough time to come into spiritual awareness because we're working so gosh darn hard.
Thanks
just
to
take
Enlil.
care.
Thanks to Enlil.
Both of those boys. There's a chart. I don't know.
Well, Enki, I believe
I don't know.
I know. You're not down with Enki. And I know you're not, but I am. But that's okay. That's okay.
We're allowed to share our views because we're adults and we can handle it.
We are. We won't censor each other.
Yeah, so, but still, it's like wherever that trap got started, it's like, this is a dumb plan and it needs to change.
Because we used to live a lot longer. We used to live thousands of years.
Didn't they say Abraham lived like 900 years or something like that?
Probably. Yeah.
I mean, that'll give you long enough to kind of get a spiritual clue as to what's going on. And, they studied the sky a lot. I wonder why. It's pretty,
so our future,
that interesting, but there's things coming in and going.
Right.
And things happening all the time.
Yeah. I believe our future is that we will not have to reincarnate. Yeah. That we can have avatar bodies.
Yeah. And that we can leave this matrix and move into matrices or dimensions or dimensional consciousness, whatever word we want to use, to where we can spend our precious time on things that are meaningful and joyful and loving and spiritual pursuits and spiritual technology and caring for others. The Guardian Alliance, there's an entire consciousness and group of millions, billions of consciousnesses all together that are trying to help just humanity, and it's like, come on, guys, let's get up, let's get going. You fell down again. All right, let's try this again.
Right. A lot of patience up there. A lot of patience.
Holy goodness.
I mean, look at us. Look at it. Totally. Look at us. We know what we need to do to move forward. We know what we need to do to be in shape. We know what we need to do to be spiritually in shape. We know we need to meditate. We know we need to do this. We know we need to go work out. We know we need to do that. We know we need to eat right. We know all these things. But do we do them?
Do we do it? Yep.
All the time? Do we do it?
And that's a very good indication of our level of awakening.
Yeah.
One of my big things that I do with all of my clients, all of my students, all of the time, prayer meditation. Here's free prayers. Here's a really cheap Patreon site, $7 a month. You get all the meditations you need. I have like 6 followers. It's like every single one of you need to get your butts over there and get yourselves meditating. It's all done for you. All you got to do is listen to it.
Yeah.
And then they're like, but how do I get out of this? How do I get it fixed? Why is my life so bad? And I'm just like, oh.
Yeah. And everyone, I mean, I'm there too. I know things I need to do to feel better or do better or get better or whatever. And
water's one of them.
Water's one of them.
Water in space.
Thank you very much. We better. But we have so many distractions, and we allow those distractions to keep us from doing what we know we need to do, our homework, our everyday routine.
Yeah. And that's part of the plan.
Helps us clear our channels and everything. Yeah.
Yep. And that's part of the agenda too. That's part of all the crap in the food and all the TV and the phones and the this and the that and the that and the this and that. It's all distractions from our natural, God-given, space to be that natural place for us to be connected to nature. you know, in contemplation, in joy, with the time and space to enjoy the sun on our face. Oh, I just made a poem.
You did. I love it.
You know, and being close together and taking care of each other. And I just talked to a woman. I did a reading for a woman a couple days ago where she was just heartbroken and like having anxiety over the fact that she couldn't visit her mom more often. And I was like, well, where does she live? Well, just like 2 blocks away. Why can't you visit her more often? Well, I'm so busy. I have to work and I have kids and I have baseball and I have football and I blah, 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 blah. And it's like, but why can't you visit her? Well, I just told you. I said, then go grab mom and take her to the baseball and the football and the soccer and the piano and she went, oh. I was like, we get so distracted. We're not thinking straight. We're not inclusive with things. We're just functioning and just making it through, you know, we're just surviving it through. And it makes us so disconnected from each other.
And that's the whole plan.
Yep.
Yeah. But enough heavy stuff.
We need to thwart that plan.
We do need to thwart that plan. And that's what waking up is all about too. That's what waking up.
And I love the young kids. They crack me up. They call it glitching the matrix. Gonna glitch the matrix.
Nice.
You know, I'm giving up fast food. I'm glitching the matrix. I'm like, yes, you little star seeds. It's so cool.
You know, when you disconnect from the matrix, the time matrix, you really do feel different. It's visceral.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. You feel lighter. I do. I feel lighter.
Yeah.
I don't feel as how do I put it? As triggered, I guess, as I would be if I need to check my phone or I need to do this or I need to do that. That goes away.
Yeah.
It just dissipates because you're not getting that call from the matrix, from the time matrix. I don't look at the clock like I would normally in the day. You know, if I have appointments, different, but still I'm not constantly doing those types of things that are in the matrix.
Yeah. And I tried to have one day a week where I turn everything off. It's usually my Sunday. I do a class at 7 a.m. Sunday morning, and I do a painting class that I do on iPad. But when I get done with that, I turn the modem off. I turn everything off, unplug the modem so I don't have the waves of everything, and just give myself an afternoon with nothing. And it's hard because I'm always like, oh, I wonder, no,
I know, right?
I wonder how many cups are in a pound of flour. Oh my God, I can't do that. You know, I think of all these millions of things that I have to know right now. It's crazy how tied in we are and how addicted we are. And I come up with things, you know, there was a couple of Sundays ago, there was something with the cat. And I was like, I wonder how many cats have white paws. How many cats? Oh gosh, you know, it's like, Michele, stop it. Stop thinking. And then when you disconnect, this starts going crazy.
That's something really important we need to know too. You know, I know, right? You know, I do the same thing. I think we all do it. We all do it. Yeah. I notice when I go somewhere and come home and I leave my purse or leave my phone in my purse, a lot of times I forget about it because it's not near me.
Yeah.
I think when it's near you, it's like it pings you.
Yeah.
Right? I don't doubt it. It pings you. You're part of the AI system.
Yes. Oh, yes. It's true. You know, they're talking about AI and being a part of AI and putting chips in us, and people like, no.
Try to have your phone next to you. Go ahead. You weren't finished. Sorry.
I say we're still part of the system.
Yeah.
We're here on YouTube. Right. We're in the system. We are in an AI system right now.
Yes. Yes. So try to have your phone next to you, and I don't know, an hour, 2 hours. and see how long see if you can not think of something, a reason to pick up your phone. Yep. See if that happens. I bet it doesn't.
Yeah.
We have to be away from it.
And and turning it off. I know one thing for me.
I turn mine off at night. Yeah.
Is unplug at night. And I tend to do it like I'll do it for like 2 or 3 weeks in a row, and it's amazing. And then I forgot, right? Start feeling better, sleeping better, more energy, clearer thinking. And then I start forgetting. And pretty soon I'm like, why do I feel like crap? And it's like, oh, the modem. Yeah. Get rid of all the computer stuff. And I think that's part of too, when before we got on today, Sharon, we were talking about how we're just feeling kind of weird, like disconnected, but super connected, but disconnected. And I know when I was sick a few weeks ago, I was so sick that even the thought of turning the TV on, I was like, oh, I can't take that. And so I actually unplugged the modem for a couple of days. Now the phone, you can still, but I didn't even want to do the phone. It's like, even the thought, it was like, oh, ew, I can't do that, and it was really, really interesting being able to kind of be unplugged mostly.
Yeah.
Too sick to get up. I cleared my schedule and just told people I'm sick, not doing it. And it was really interesting when I was able to go back into my own space and my own time and not being geared by schedule and clock and what the phone says and getting on that, how lovely it was. And I didn't want to come back. And I think that's part of even now that I'm like kind of getting back into work, but I kind of don't want to do it. Love working with my clients, but all the other stuff. And there's a part of me that wants to stay connected to that freedom.
Sure.
Of all that.
Once you have a taste of it.
Interesting. Yeah.
Once you have a taste of it.
Yeah. And I'm old enough now that I don't feel that, I don't have that drive, right? Where it's like, I gotta go, I gotta make something of myself. It's like, this is about as the best we're gonna get. Right? The aspirations aspirated.
This is it.
We're done.
Well, I think this is pretty darn good for, for that level, that whatever level we're at. I think it's a pretty darn good level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we've come a long way.
Baby.
We've come a long way.
Yeah, we have.
Baby. And so have all of you out there. And you got to give yourself credit for it too.
Yes.
And if you think about it, I mean, look at us. I don't want to speak for you, but I'm in my early 60s. And I know to you 20-year-olds, you're saying, well, yeah, what's your point? But this is not what 60-year-olds look like 30 years ago. We'd have our hair up in a bun. Our hair would be gray. We'd be all wrinkled. Right. And we'd be wearing like flowered dresses with ruffles on it.
Well, not my mom. She was never like that. She was young at heart. Let me tell you.
My mom was young at heart, but she was still,
okay.
But, I mean,
but I understand what you're saying.
Ago.
Well, we were unhealthy way back when. My mother, and my grandmother were ill at the age I'm at now. Yeah. And so my mother died when she was 70. She passed when she was 70, which is only 5 years from me now, because I told you I turned 65. So, and my sister and I talk about this because she's a year and a half younger, that how healthy we are and how much younger we are than mom and our age, and all of my parents.
So much younger.
Yeah, they died in their 70s. So yeah, things are looking up, and with in the next 20 years, we're going to look even younger.
Well, and that's part of it too, is we understand the concept of rejuvenation.
Yes.
That by our own intention and our own abilities, we can rejuvenate.
Right.
Right. We can rejuvenate this body, rejuvenate the cells, rejuvenate our DNA.
And we know that. We just forgot how. We just forgot. It's been taken from us, just like everything else. Yeah. Everything else has been a lie, and we've been stuck in this matrix for, however long we've been here. But that's okay. It needed to happen for us to wake up. But
and now that we're awake and we see all the things, first job really is the children, to bring it all back.
Thank you.
Yeah. To
Yes.
get it back.
If you haven't, whatever you take from this video today, in our ramblings today, please at least take that with you.
Yeah.
To say a prayer for the children every day, or maybe give some money or something, donate, or, they are all over the world, so they might need some volunteers at Operation Underground Railroad, or any place that you might know that you feel good about helping
And
out.
we'll put a link to that in the body here too.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
that you're sure to have that just in case. Because it is important, and you want to be careful who you give to, because there's a lot of these kind of foundations that, the people that run it get all the money and it never actually makes it to the people that need it too. So I know the Underground Railroad one is a good one too.
That's why I recommend them, and
Yeah.
and I've done fundraisers for them as well. So they're really good. Yeah.
Yep.
Tim
And if
Ballard
anybody
is
knows of any other ones, let us know, because Sharon and I both have like a really special place in our heart for the children, because they are the future of humanity and they're beautiful. When we want to protect those sweet things.
Yeah, and I'm sure everyone here does too. And it's
Yeah.
they need to be protected, and we're as a society, we have not been protecting our children, and
No,
it's
I think
coming
so many of us
to head.
didn't know.
Well, yeah, and also in the education system, and I'm not saying everyone, is
Yeah.
bad or anything like that, but it's been the infiltration is crazy.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
How these beings have
gotten into everything.
Brainwashed with everything, brainwashed so many institutions, and the people that, well, they're compromised.
Yeah.
These people are compromised, and they do it
Yeah.
on purpose. It's the one who will remain nameless is the king of all lies, the deceiver, the great deceiver, right?
Yep.
And in that ilk, so that ilk right there, and that's about as EVIL as you can get, is going after the children.
Yeah. So let's save
because
those
of their
children.
innocence, because of their innocence.
Yeah.
That's
And remember, your prayers matter. You claiming divine protection for these children, it matters.
Yeah.
It matters. You are powerful and you're important, and God listens to the prayers of, for the children, of the children. And if we had everybody saying a prayer every day for the protection of these children, it could change the world.
It will. It will.
So do your part.
And spread the word, please.
And spread the word.
Yeah.
Share the word. And we don't have to share the ugly details. I remember when I first heard about the Pizzagate thing, I went, oh, this is such nonsense.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay.
Yeah. At first I was like, what, you can't order pizza now? What is going on? But then I started hearing more and more. And after about a month, I was like, oh, I see what they're doing. Well,
it hits our sensibilities for sure. Yeah. And we don't want to know. It's like, no effing way. No effing way. That can't be happening. No effing way. And we might, and if you feel like it, I wouldn't suggest, if if you're sensitive to this kind of stuff, for sure. But this kind of stuff is pretty easy to find now because of the internet.
Yeah.
Like that caring group thing, when I looked it up, I didn't know what it was going to be, and then all of a sudden these images just start showing up of really disturbing things. And they're also tied to the Christie auction house. Is in that.
Really?
Yes, Christie's auction house. Apparently there's some auctions they've had that they've sold off for big money, disturbing things, and they involve children. So yeah, and I anyway, so you don't have to dig very deep to see and find these things. You don't have to go on the dark web anymore. It's in our faces.
Yeah.
It's not being covered up anymore. It's in our faces.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we can't unsee it. We can't unsee it. We can't hide our head in the sand anymore. How about if we end with another prayer?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, everybody, for being here and, for taking this to heart and taking the time to listen all the way through. Yeah. And join us, where two or more are gathered together. There he is in the midst. Quite quote, doing some more Bible thumping, but you know what? God is God, no matter how you learn about him. They, them, her, he.
And Yeshua is there with us. You know how he feels about the children.
Yeah.
Of course he does. Of course
that's his number one.
Yeah.
That's his number one.
Yeah,
But there's a saying about whosoever treats the least among you. What is that quote? However you treat the least among you,
shall find your way in heaven or something.
Yeah,
like
well,
that. With
something like that.
We're really bad, aren't we? Treat the least among you with I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to reach for my phone, but I'm not going to do it.
We're trying to make good habits.
So maybe someone put in the full passage in the quote in the comments.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. So take it away, Sharona.
Okay.
Let's take care of these kids.
Yeah. Dear divine creator, thank you so much for helping Michele and I today to be able to come together and talk about this very, very, very important subject. And for everyone watching, thank you for being here. And we ask once more, we wish to end each broadcast with another prayer of protection for the children. And we ask once more for all the helpers, all the angels, the higher angels, the archangels, the ascended masters, all the blessed beings that watch over our planet, and galactic beings, anyone within earshot of our prayers. Please protect and surround our children with your everlasting light and hold them in your arms. Children that are in the body and that have left the body that may not be able to find their way home for many, many reasons, please help them. They need our help. Michele?
Yeah, and we say thank you for allowing us to be here together, Sharon and I, and knowing that where two or more are gathered, there you are in the midst, that this word will get out to whoever needs to hear it, and that we can begin a beautiful wave, a beautiful rippling out of people's awareness of how we can help the children. And Lord, we thank you so much for this time together and for the light that is shining from this show, that for everyone who is touched, everyone who takes that moment to pray, we ask extra prayers and blessings for them as well. And for all who don't pray, Lord, we ask for them too. And so, beloveds, we just thank you so much, knowing that as we state God's protection around our children as truth, and truth from here on out, we know it's done. Whatsoever you shall ask, it shall be done. And we're asking, Lord, and we're claiming that it is done. And we thank you. And I'll even say, in the name of Christ, in the name of the Christ, I was going to say that too. In the name of Jesus, and that holy consciousness of pure unconditional love. And we just say thank you. And so it is.
Thank you. So it is. Boy, he's standing right here because he told me the same thing. In the name of Christ, the name of Christ conscious, the name of Jesus, the name of Christ. Thank you.
Yeah. And it is, it's a touchy subject because, we're in the spiritual new agey group where people are like, oh, well, pshaw, but I'm sorry. In the name of Christ is powerful, and it is the energy. It is the consciousness of the new age, that unconditional love one another. That's what's going to get us through this.
And the thing is, Yeshua, and we're going on and on, but the thing is that Jesus, Yeshua, is not a physical being anymore. He's not, you know what I mean? He's not sitting here like us. So he is immense. He is an immense light being from, however you want to look at it. He doesn't, so it's not about him as the man who walked the planet so much as it's about the consciousness that he holds within his higher being within him, and he's pure love, and he brings that Godhead, God, Father God, Mother God, all of that within him. He brings that to us.
Yeah. And he's in all conduit. Of us too.
He is.
It's
he's
a part of our divine makeup, is that Christ consciousness.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah. And so, hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Yes. Praise be. Praise be.
Praise be.
I think I was a holy roller in another life, even though I don't go to church, and that I don't think that's derogatory, but
I love that stuff.
Because when I've been in some revivals, or not that many, but when I have, I'm like, it just feels very natural. I've done this before. Totally. I know what to do.
When I was 16 years old, I went to an Assemblies of God with a boy that I was dating and his mom. And they are holy rollers. They are singing in the spirit, and they're dancing, and people are in the aisle. Well, that's when I received light language.
Oh, yeah.
At 16, and it was the gift of tongues, right? But I've had it my whole life. And it was from being in the holy roller thing and like gospel music.
Oh, I love gospel.
I am in heaven. And they get going, and I'm like, yes, praise the Jesus. It's awesome. Michael Beckwith, his church in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. When they have the choir there, oh my God, it's like I am in heaven. We are holy rollers for the Lord.
Yeah, these churches, these gospel churches, they have the right idea, what it's like to gather and praise, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? Just be a community and have that spirit flowing through you.
And it's music is love. So powerful. Mm-hmm. And when it's used for goods, it's used for good, it can move mountains, right?
Oh yeah, totally. And I just had this, and we'll stop one day, but I just had this someday. Yeah.
It's our show and we can stop when we want to.
Thank you. I love that. I just had this thought as we were talking about the Catholic Church, that the Catholic Church is so sedate and, somber, and the organ music, it's just so like a funeral music. Yeah. I used to think that when I was a kid. No wonder I didn't want to go.
Yeah.
And I believe that's on purpose.
Sure it is.
Of course it is.
All you sinners out there don't deserve fun music.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I just had that thought about their masses. Their masses. Yeah. That they're just so somber, and the blood of Christ, eating the body of Christ, really drinking the blood and body of Christ. What the heck?
I know. I thought about that too. I'm like, who started that? And it's supposedly Jesus did. Take this of my bread at the Last Supper.
Last Supper. Okay.
Right. But is that really what he did? Would he really do that here? Eat of my flesh and blood of my blood. He wasn't about sacrifice.
No.
Part of him turning those tables over on the temple, in front of the temple, was to free the animals so they weren't being sacrificed, blood sacrifice.
I love that.
No more of this nonsense either. So that never made sense to me.
No, it's barbaric.
It's barbaric.
Yeah, because they're cannibals. Oh, I said it out loud.
Ooh, I'm pretty sure you said camels.
Okay.
Camels.
Camels.
That's code word now, guys. All of you who heard that, you're in the know. You big old camel.
I know, right? So I don't know. Are you landing your ship anytime tonight?
Yeah, it's coming to a landing. I got to get some fuel.
Okay. All right.
Because it flies on love, baby.
And those of you out there, get your own ship and meet us up here sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get your.
We can do that. We can do that. Let's get all the spaceships together and have a spaceship party.
I know, right?
We love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being a part of the solution for what we're talking about today. Just thank you from my heart. And I know I can speak for Sharon too, that, we're so grateful that you guys took the time to watch this one. It's a really special show. And, we tried to be very delicate and stay within the boundaries of all things social media. But thank you. And being a part of the solution, just a prayer every day.
Right.
Just claim the light of God, however you believe, and praise Jesus. And let's let God get in here. Let's claim that presence of God and call that in to help as well. So thank you guys.
Yeah, totally. Because the others is getting thrown out the door. The other is getting thrown out the door, just like Yeshua told me, it's being thrown out the door. Throw it out the door.
Like a freaking nuclear blast. Bam. Sorry. I hope you didn't get bruised.
He's like, let me take care of it.
Yeah.
Let me take care of it.
Yep.
Release all that to me.
Yep. And we call that into action, and we let God and Jesus take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hallelujah.
All right. Yes. Praise the Lord. Okay.
We love you guys.
We love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Okay. Giddy. Stopping recording now.